Hi. My name is Dawn Dreams. That's D-A-W-N. Dreams. She, her. I am learning how to juggle 3D printed letters of the alphabet and write at the same time, mostly through anagrams. This was generously funded by the Canada Council of the Arts for a research and creation grant. Lucky me. So I'm not alone today. I'm with Morgan Anderson. She is a wonderful co-conspirator in this project, and she has some interesting things to say. Here you go, Morgan. Here are some things.
By turning letters into things, Dawn is able to perform words, or let words perform, that are usually spoken or written. Not that performance and writing or speech are mutually exclusive. In fact, the title of our talk, How to Do Words with Things, is originally a reference to J.L. Austin's 1955 lectures called How to Do Things with Words. In these lectures, Austin discusses how words can create performative utterances. In other words, how words can be actions. Our title also references Bruno Latour's 1992 essay, The Berlin Key, or How to Do Words with Things. Here, Latour takes Austin's point even further to say that words don't just let humans do things, but rather things can communicate with humans. Human and non-human are ultimately arbitrary categories, and reality is actually built on the connections formed between what Latour calls actants. So, if Austin says words can do things, and Latour says, well, things can also do words, then Dawn's work says, whoa guys, words are things. And words aren't just representations of other things. No, words, letters in themselves are things. They can be juggled, manipulated, thrown, caught, flipped, rolled, dropped, broken. The juggler, and I'm quoting Vincent Fouquet here, it seems like they're often considered the, quote, ultimate symbol of Western anthropocentrism, end quote. A more humble juggler, Fouquet suggests, might be Fia Maynard in her work with such unjuggleable natural objects as ice or wind. Maynard's work demonstrates that nature has its own agency. It cannot be pinned down by human will. Humans are not the only force that exerts itself in and on the world. Dawn's work, I think, comes at the humble or non-anthropocentric circus from a different way around. Not by pointing out the unjugglability of nature, but rather the juggleability of culture. Because at first glance, letters are not juggleable, right? Like, they are cultural concepts. At best, they are two-dimensional on the page. Dawn's work shows us, though, that no, letters are objects, tools, technology, that are not given, and they do not have absolute objective meanings, but rather they are constructed of lines, and in Dawn's case, of plastic. While much of this humble circus strives to put the most naturally naturey objects on stage to demonstrate the lack of control that humans have, Dawn's work puts the very human-seeming cultural objects of language on stage, and in doing so makes her own body seem kind of hypernatural by comparison. Watching this, I am reminded that the nature-culture binary itself is a cultural construct, a tool, a technology that has been held up by years of Western philosophical thought and that perhaps needs manipulating, juggling, dropping, or breaking. Letters, words, ideas, they have power, but they are also contingent, contextual, and subject to change. As Lakoff and Johnson write in Metaphors We Live By, metaphors sculpt our reality and filter what we see and how we behave in the world. Dawn's work offers us a different metaphor for language that opens up new possibilities for how we understand humans' place in the world. Dawn, I'm so sorry. I'm here drinking tea. I didn't even offer you any. Would you? Here, let me Let me pour you some tea before we move on to your
Thank you.
part of this presentation.
Oh, thanks. Oh, we see something. Let me just... Ooh, that's awesome. Oh, I love a good cup of tea. So I want to talk to you a little bit about juggling letters of the English alphabet. This idea came to me through a random series of happenstance, as most art does. In this case, it was the contemporary conversations about circus and storytelling I was having with Ryan Mellers. The online conversations that Stephen Regatz was largely a part of, among other jugglers, regarding contact jugglers and if they were plagiarizing Michael Motion's work, as Michael Motion stated in the 1989 Montreal IJA, and what it means to create your own artistic practice and how long that takes. And Jay Gilligan's TED Talk in 2010, he has an offhanded comment where he goes to the back of the stage, juggles letters of the alphabet, and says, "You can juggle anything." I think all of that accumulated as I was walking down Robson Street in Vancouver one day, and I saw this beautiful acrylic letter in the store window. And as a contact juggler, acrylic's my medium, and I immediately connected to the idea of juggling a very concrete idea, symbol, or something that already had meaning in this world. And also I was very interested in what is that symbol's shape and how does it move? What is the character of that symbol? I'm not the first person to have this idea. This idea is sort of a cultural idea. There's a history of jugglers that you can find who have tried juggling different letters or put it in their promotional materials, putting it on cigar boxes and balancing them that way. And that's really fun for different sort of anagrams, but it doesn't meet the criteria that I was searching for, which was the actual shape and character of the letters as they are. So I wanted to bring these letters off the page and really put them in our reality, see what they felt like as a juggling, throwable, catchable, trappable, balanceable object. Bringing letters into fruition and into reality was much more difficult than I thought. It took me about 12 iterations, including 9 of which were totally unusable. Over time, actually put it away. What actually kind of came out was when I discovered 3D printing as a viable option. Plastic is a wonderful thing to juggle, and I contacted Drew Batchelor, who has developed these letters in CAD. He asked me what font I wanted, and I wasn't really sure, but I told him that I needed each to be edited very specifically so it was weighted and balanced and stackable in its own right, and that they were individual characters. And so he did some painstaking work to make that into puzzle pieces. Now these letters are 360 grams depending on the letter. They have about a 20% infill. The plastic we are using is PLU+, and at the moment I'm finding that a little fragile. I have this one letter in a TPU type of plastic, which is more squishable, as you can see. I've taped these letters with velvet like a cigar box, and that makes it much more trappable and balanceable in the end. Here is a failed print. This failed print, you can kind of see the different layers. That's how it sort of builds. It takes a long time. A W took me about 18 hours to print, and the I took about 10 hours. I have 50 letters, so it's about 50 days to print, and we are just on the other side, having finished maybe a month ago. So welcome to my world of letters. It's so exciting to finally have them in my hands, right? Applying juggling techniques to these is complicated, so I'm looking to stack, balance, throw, catch, isolate. Individually, it's interesting, but it gets more complicated as you start building words. Finding as I have developed the letters and now I start putting them together in words and then sentences, is the project and the art starts to build these lists of words, these lists of anagrams, and these lists develop kind of an atmosphere, and this atmosphere is something I can really play with as a clown. I can use them as metaphors. I can change the words and really change the direction of the idea. Something I really like to show as an artist is my humanity, and I really like how as I develop atmosphere in these words in this clown, that it shows that I'm the writer. I can hide things from you or I can reveal things to you. It is me who is driving the conversation, and the words don't actually stand on themselves, and that they have a context in which I am the person who is leading. I really like sharing me with the letters and how they are their own thing, but as an interaction, we make a new thing. That's where the poetry lies. I think that 3D printing is going to really change Circus. This is my little project that was sort of in the wings waiting for this technology to come up, but Circus is going to get really weird very soon because all of these two-dimensional ideas are going to be able to come off the page that we've never seen before. And I'm so excited. Thanks for having us today, and I wish you a wonderful day.